Good morning. American oil companies are sounding the alarm bells, warning President Donald Trump that the nation's strategic petroleum reserves are plummeting to dangerous levels not seen since 1983. According to reports from the Washington Post, industry executives have repeatedly contacted the Trump administration about an impending crisis that could send oil prices skyrocketing by 50% or more within weeks. The numbers paint a stark picture. America's strategic petroleum reserves have dropped to 349.2 million barrels, approaching levels last recorded 40 years ago. Since Trump took office, 172 million barrels have been withdrawn from these emergency stockpiles. Just this month, on June 10th, the Energy Department released another 40 million barrels for bidding. The root cause traces back to the ongoing conflict with Iran, which has effectively blocked the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for global oil transport. This maritime bottleneck has severely restricted oil and gas shipments from Arab nations, creating a supply crunch that's already driving prices higher across American gas stations. Mike Summers, chief executive of the American Petroleum Institute, recently appeared on Fox Business, warning that these inventory levels are hitting record lows. He emphasized the urgent need to resolve the Strait of Hormuz situation, stating that Americans should prepare for significant price increases in the coming weeks. The timing couldn't be worse for the Trump administration. With midterm elections approaching this fall, rising living costs could prove politically devastating for Republicans. The administration is already grappling with the highest inflation rates in 3 years, with the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index climbing 4.2% year over year through May. Gasoline prices have been the primary driver of this inflationary surge. Industry leaders are particularly concerned about potential emergency measures the government might implement. Oil company executives fear Trump could be forced to restrict United States fuel exports to preserve domestic supplies, a move that would signal just how severe the crisis has become. Such restrictions would represent an extraordinary step for a nation that has prided itself on energy independence. Bob McNally, who served as an energy advisor during George W. Bush's presidency and now heads the research firm Rapidan Energy Group, told the Washington Post that White House officials are fully aware of the near-unanimous concern among oil companies and analysts about summer price developments. The administration appears to be monitoring the situation closely, with senior White House representatives indicating they welcome industry input and will continue considering information from oil and gas executives. Computer modeling suggests the situation could deteriorate rapidly. If crude oil inventories collapse within the next few weeks, as some industry insiders predict, American consumers could face gasoline price increases of 50% or more virtually overnight. Such a spike would devastate household budgets already stretched by inflation and could trigger broader economic consequences. The Trump administration attempted to project optimism over the weekend, announcing potential peace negotiations with Iraq. However, energy experts remain skeptical about quick diplomatic solutions to the complex Middle Eastern crisis that's disrupted global oil flows. President Trump previously dismissed inflation concerns with his characteristic bravado, claiming he loves inflation. But behind closed doors, Republican strategists are reportedly growing nervous about voter reactions to higher costs at the pump, especially with crucial midterm elections just months away. This crisis highlights America's continued vulnerability to global energy market disruptions, despite years of domestic production increases. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve, established after the 1970s oil crisis, was designed for exactly these situations. However, the current drawdown rate raises questions about long-term energy security planning. As oil companies continue pressing the White House for action, Ordinary Americans are left watching gas prices climb while wondering how much higher they might go. The convergence of geopolitical tensions, depleted reserves, and election year politics creates a perfect storm that could reshape both energy policy and political fortunes in the months ahead. If this story matters to you, hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss the German perspective. Now tell me, what's your take? Drop it in the comments.